It doesn't end there, people. It doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. Let's just go. There were more. There were more. How many more tabs do I have? I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4 more tabs. No, I don't. We already got 2 of them. Oh my God. We might be saving, if it's not the best, it's close to. And if it's not the last, it's definitely closer to the last than to the first. Oh my, you hear these things and you say, wow. This is the post-millennial posting Eric Adams, the New York City mayor. All of a sudden, they found definitions to babies, men, women. They so clear cut that they can tell people to shut up based on their sex or gender, unequivocally.
I was 15, and I just got home from being arrested, and Linda came to me, and she said, Eric, I'm pregnant. And look at your life. And it was my desire automatically just to say, Linda, keep the baby. She said, Eric, you're arrested, you're not going to school. What future is this baby going to have?
Adoption into a family that could and would consider it the greatest blessing of their life to be given this opportunity. And this goes back to the philosophical question from the beginning. This justification here is, I don't care if it's a human life, like we can actually bypass that discussion. This is ending a life for what is being here described as nothing other than convenience. I did, first of all, from a life success story, I had no idea that Eric Adams was arrested at 15. I don't know for what. I'm going to go look it up now. Didn't know that he had this history. It is, in as much as I loathe his politics and his policy, it is good to see success stories of people. I say, but for the grace of God, I could have been arrested anywhere between the age of 13 and 16. I can think of at least a half dozen legit reasons that I could have gotten arrested had I gotten caught, had I come across authority that was more malicious, more inclined to ruin someone's life, teachers who might have been more inclined to make examples. But for the grace of God, any one of us, when we were young and dumb, could have done something that would have permanently altered the future trajectory of our life. And some made it through that. So good for Eric Adams, sincerely. But when talking about the philosophical principle, I'm 15, I just got arrested. Look at your life. What kind of life is this baby going to have? That's presumptuous. First of all, Eric became mayor. Is it to say, okay, sorry.
And look at your life. And it was my desire automatically just to say, Linda, keep the baby. She said, Eric, you're arrested, you're not going to school. What future is this baby going to have? And she made the decision that was smart for both of us. She made the right call because she was empowered. She was in control. And some years later, when Jordan's mom was pregnant, she made the determination she wanted to have her son. She made the determination because she was empowered to make that determination.
I'm not following the actual logic here. She made the determination to have the son, the baby. It's amazing. The words that they're using, which would ordinarily end the legal debates.
Don't kid ourselves. This is the erosion and destruction of the ability of women to have and be empowered. 5 men who could never conceive.
Doesn't that get you canceled these days? I mean, aren't they calling it birthing persons because men can conceive or deliver through the... I mean, it's just, it's not that, this is not to be glib, facetious, or make the joke. And there's no but to that. There is literally no logic and, above all else, no respect. Because these individuals 2 weeks ago, in order to placate or in order to appeal to the politics of a certain demographic, say, I can't define what a woman is. I'm not a biologist. Hey, yeah. Now you've made the demographic that you were appealing to 2 weeks ago happy. And then 2 weeks later, they don't exist anymore. Because there's another demographic that you're trying to make happy. There is no consistency, and there can therefore be no logic no morality, and no, I guess the one thing you can predict, it is predictive in a sense, they're going to be hypocrites.
Made a determination to have and be empowered. 5 men who could never conceive made a determination on what will happen to the women of this city and country.
No, they didn't, Adams. And if you, I guess you're the mayor, you're not the governor. If New York State wants to allow and empower women, do it. This is factually incorrect. It's a moral double standard. It's a political double standard, throwing under the bus and ignoring, denying the existence of the very people they were allegedly fighting for, I would say exploiting 2 weeks ago, and misrepresenting everything in law, fact, and politics. No, they didn't do anything. They just said, hey, you want to do it? You do it at the state level.
Every decision not to have a child comes with it a story.
Every decision not to have a child.
Not to have a child comes with it a story.
It's interesting, the framing. Every decision not to have the child, that typically starts at a different stage. Every decision not to carry a pregnancy to term has a story. And there's no doubt about that. Other than appealing to the emotions, it doesn't address the material misrepresentation of the substance of the decision and where it's at. But about 5 men who could never conceive. Shut up, sit down. All of a sudden, we now know what a man is. And by the way, to all of those striving for, to all those who we've included now, menstruating persons, birthing persons, not now, not on this. Shut up and sit down. As if, even if we agree on the terms that men can't get pregnant and cannot conceive, that they then somehow have less of a role to play in the legal interpretation of when a life is a life that should be protected under the law. I mean, what's the end game of what Eric Adams is suggesting here? That we're going to have tribunals consisting only of women who can conceive, so excluding trans women. So just ignore that incongruity of debates. You're going to have tribunals of only women who can decide. Oh, and by the way, I'm sorry. Was there not a woman on the Supreme Court? Were there not 2 women who agreed with this decision? Well, they don't matter. Those are sex trade. What is the word? Sex traders of women. Oh, so that's a outrageous, another outrageously bad take for a number of reasons. They're just sucking and blowing depending on the politics of the day. Throwing allies under the bus in order to placate the allies of the day. One woman, Amy Coney Barrett, I guess, and a black man. He doesn't get, it doesn't matter. Justice Clarence Thomas's life experience as a black man is irrelevant to Eric Adams' experience in life as a black man. Amy Coney Barrett's experience in life as a woman is irrelevant compared to the life experience of Sotomayor and who's the other justice? I forget the name now. 5 men voted. They had no jurisdiction over what women do with their bodies. Feels liberal to me. That is a decent interpretation, a decent political spin if one wants a headline spin that's easy to, that's good to promote. Problem with it is my state, Missouri, became the first that banned all of it yesterday. I can tell you this, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Well, all that banned it as of, I don't agree with that. So that would be a policy issue where you'd want to petition your legislature and have the debate. And then at some point, ultimately, it's, not everybody can move. It's just a question of whether or not it's as easy for everyone. I'm living in a province right now where they're going to restrict even further my language rights. I don't agree with it. I don't disagree with it as much as most because totally separate debate, but it's a French province. I respect that. I appreciate that. I live here. But when a province enacts legislation that violates what you consider to be core fundamental rights without exceptions to what you think ought to be legitimate exceptions, you fight it. And then if you can't fight it and you can't live with it, you leave it. And you go, I mean, I don't know I'm going to embarrass myself to say what the neighboring state is. I won't embarrass myself. Karen Yan, thank you very much. Viva, you are familiar with Kristen Ann Hall from Liberty Fist Society. She does a beautiful job explaining pitfalls of amending U.S. Constitution. Not familiar with her? Screenshot, and I'll have a look.